My name is Adam Penna, and I'm here to continue the conversation in 3D printing and additive manufacturing. And today I have a wonderful guest. When we look at things in the industry in 3D printing and additive manufacturing, a lot of times it goes down to, what we're doing to give back and how we're looking to improve lives out there. And that's really what drives the passion behind what I do and why I'm in the industry. I like to see things improve in communities. So looking at that, the programs and people out there, entrepreneurs and supporters of the STEM industry. So this is my first in a series related to STEM education, as well as those entrepreneurs who are giving back to the community. And that kind of leads me into who I have today as my guest. Here is Maggie Grout. Maggie, welcome. Very nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's really awesome to be on your podcast.
Yeah. No, I know we've been talking a little bit before this. The program that you've kicked off, in 2015 is Thinking Huts. And that program had its Thinking Gala at the beginning of this month on the 2nd. And I'll link to that in this program for those that are interested. But it was really interesting. I checked that out, and looking at what you're getting involved with and the passion you have behind it, what brought you there, and kind of the things that were interesting to you. It's been, from what I saw on the 2nd from the Thinking Gala, is very inspirational, obviously, because you've been working on the Thinking Huts now since 2015, and that's been your own program. So talk a little bit about that and how it started and what brought you to be so passionate about what you're doing to give back to the community at this time.
Yeah, so I had the idea when I was a sophomore in high school about how we could increase access to education. And after researching and learning about a lot of developing countries, their main obstacle is overcrowding. So I thought it would be really interesting to try a pilot project to use 3D printing that's really taking off in the construction industry to build schools. And this would really provide a solution that decreases construction time and waste. So it also addresses the environmental impact aspect of construction industry projects. And yeah, it's been a lot of research and just seeing what companies are out there and who have printers that we could partner with already. And it's still quite small, so we don't have a ton of competition in that area, and we'll be the first to build a school. So that's what I've been working on the past 5 years, looking for the location. And throughout this year, we'll be fundraising and raising awareness to build in Madagascar.
Yeah, so I noticed that, and people think, okay, Madagascar, we're here in the United States, but why did you choose Madagascar? And it might be obvious to some why you did choose Madagascar, just because all of the local economics there. And when you look at poverty and education and people that don't have access to it, I did see a stat that you said like over 300 million children, right, do not have access to education that we're all used to. So bringing that to a community, and when you talk about Madagascar, they're one of the highest percentage of communities that have the lower access to education. So that was a very good place for a pilot project like this, and to help those communities kind of bring them up to par. But you're also looking into, like you said, on the 3D printing side, partnering with the robotic automation side and customization, and looking at how you could actually improve your carbon footprint there, and use natural resources. So that whole ecosystem, people talk about that, and that's what you have in action now, and have been looking at resources and bringing them together to actually do this. So congrats on that. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot of insight into kind of, looking at things from a holistic approach, not just, okay, let's educate these children, but then let's also look at how we do it, how we bring the actual facility to them, how we reduce everything from labor to the amount of materials used, and also use the local resources that are around there to kind of fill and make those actual buildings and resources available. So yeah, that's really nice. So talk about that. The people say like a circular economy. I heard that phrase is used a lot, and maybe people don't understand what a circular economy, but that really defines it, what you're doing there. So, talk a little bit more about what's happening with that program in Madagascar.
Yes, so we're aiming for mid-2021 to build, but a lot of it, like you were saying, is planning and all the logistics to support the circular economy. So right now we're working with an architect, and he's working on a design and how we can incorporate a lot of locally sourced materials in order to supports what we're hoping to do with sustainability. So how the process will work is the only outside thing would be the printer. And then we would be looking for a cement manufacturing plant, and they would be creating a unique mixture. And with that, it will feed through the printer. And we're hoping to cut waste by about 50%.
Yeah. Wow. See, that right there is a big deal, and that's what I mean by looking at the whole picture and that circular economy kind of, process. It's not just about, okay, the printer itself, but it's what's actually happening and how you're using the resources and not wasting more. And that's a sustainability issue. And people throw that word around, but that really is sustainability, circular economy in action. So great work. And you did bring up too that you're in Boulder, Colorado. Are you in the middle of your program there in college? What year are you currently in studies?
I'm in my final year, so I'll be graduating in spring. And yeah, it's exciting, but I don't know if we will be online all year or not.
Yeah, now that's interesting. I always kind of take that for granted right now, the big change that's been going on. How has virtual schooling been for you so far?
It's definitely a bit difficult. I'm a business major, so a lot of it is group work. So
Yeah.
just trying to do presentations on Zoom is a bit challenging, and just coordinating times too, trying to meet.
Yeah. Yeah. And bringing any group of people together is very difficult,
Oh, yes.
So virtually is a task in itself, but everyone I see is working on it. We'll put it that way. But I'm glad we have this virtual ability to do this in this time because, people are going through difficulties. And that's why I think it's so important. I think we get focused on our own difficulties so much. And we do have a lot of different opportunities here. And, when you look at where people don't have opportunity, even when the challenging times are here or not, those kind of are the kind of people that you like to reach out to and pull up and help out in the community. So thank you for what you're doing with this. It's very interesting. And again, I'll put a link to what's going on with the Gala and also your program in this conversation so people could look into it a little more. But so again, in the beginning of all this, what even got you interested in thinking about creating Thinking Huts? What was your passion behind doing this?
I think a lot of it I owe to my dad. He was super into startups. He co-founded MapQuest, so he's into the tech space.
Nice.
And I think that's what got me really interested in the future of technology. And then the other two things were mainly my origin story. I was adopted from China, and I think I have a larger understanding of the opportunities I have been given through being able to have an access to a quality education. And if I wasn't adopted, a lot of things would have looked so much different in terms of the opportunities I have. And also looking into other humanitarian aid models, I wanted to change that. A lot of them get a bad reputation just for coming in there and not truly helping communities, and they just leave right after. And that's something I encountered a lot in high school too. When people would go on mission trips, I started thinking, are we really helping? So that's something I really want to change with our pilot project, and hopefully if we're able to scale to other countries, just having community interests in mind and trying to empower them rather than thinking about ourselves and how it makes us feel better. We would actually be helping solve a problem they deal with every day.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. It's important that people are doing that in this world because we do need to give back. I think, we get out of it a lot as human beings when we give back. So, great that you're involved in a real way at such a young age. A lot of people, like you say, posture and do maybe a semester somewhere and help out with a project and get it on their, on their resume there as something that they accomplish. But to really actually seat yourself in a program and be a founder of a program like yourself with Thinking Huts. Now it's been 5 years that you've been doing this, and then to choose 3D printing obviously is the actual function that will bring a lower carbon footprint, help people in the community, get the local resources involved, and also be, like we were talking earlier, be able to customize what has actually been given in each particular location. So that's exciting, and yeah, so to talk a little bit more about your partners and the people that kind of have made this happen.
Yeah, so we're planning to partner with a 3D printing company called Hyperion, based in Finland. And then the local nonprofit partner, Seed, I met them while I was studying abroad in England this past year. So they're mainly helping with looking into potential locations for the first school, and they're coming out of containment right now. So we hope to finalize it closer to the build date, and we're thinking the southeastern part of Madagascar is what we're looking at right now.
Nice, nice. I know, we were just talking about those challenges and difficulties. And obviously in this 5 years, this last year, especially the last 6 months for all of us has been challenging. But how has it affected this? Because you obviously had that gala that you did on the 2nd. Was that the plan, or was it going to be live, or, what's changed in the last 6 months? You're still persevering, I see, but you've had to kind of been agile and changed up some of the plans. So what does that look like for you?
Yes, for sure. A lot of things have changed the timeline.
Yeah.
We had to push back things to more of an unknown of when we will exactly build the school. I would say the biggest thing was we were trying to be, more conscious of the events that were going on. So we took a step back from the fundraising towards March to beginning of summer, just to think about what our next steps would be. And ultimately we thought that just continuing on the rest of the year and just trying our best to raise the funds and awareness for it is what we should do, because we were thinking that even when we come out of this pandemic and we get a vaccine, there will still be communities out there that need schools. And we get the luxury of being able to do online learning, but a lot of the communities that we considered for the first school, they just don't have the infrastructure even for internet and that type of connectivity. So the biggest thing remains is having a physical infrastructure there that they could learn in, and having more would also help with social distancing if they would need that. And they still have overcrowding. So I think that if we continue persevering, we would still be a relevant solution.
Yeah, that's it. That's important. And obviously everyone's had to be a little bit nimble, or be a lot nimble right now during the last 6 months to realize how they can still make things happen given the current challenges. So again, kudos to you for having that gala launch on August 2nd. That was really nice to see that in action. And, I'm looking forward to seeing this push forward. So again, thanks for being here. Now, is there anything else that, since we have you here now, you'd like to share?
I think that's all right now. I think that gives a good summary of what we're trying to do with our pilot.
Yeah. And the website for that is?
thinkinghuts.org.
thinkinghuts.org. Wonderful. Yeah. And I'll put a link to that, and also a link to the video that's on YouTube so people could check that out, the gala. And Maggie, thanks again so much for being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing this program in action. So we'll check back with you. And again, thank you for everything you're doing. I really appreciate this hard work and giving back to the community. So again, thanks for being here, Maggie. Appreciate it very much. Thinking Huts, looking forward to see it happen, take place in the future in the communities. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Maggie.